Big Goodwin here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, share, help promote, and rank up my channel, all that good stuff. Yes, I got a haircut. So the boys at Comic Con this year, why Comic Con has been regulated to this digital thing, pre-recorded videos and all that. They're not really doing anything special. DC and Marvel pretty much almost completely pulled out, except for the New Mutants over at the Comic Con a convention where they show you a scene from the movie, but they keep their release date intact and all that. Really unfortunate. The boys had a big spot. And this is one thing I want to talk about. The Boys Season 2. There's this article that says The Boys Season 2 is to tackle white supremacy and systematic racism. The thing about The Boys, if you're not familiar with it, it's based on a comic book by Garth Ennis. Amazon Prime does the show. It's a really interesting, great series. Now, I'm not too familiar with the comic. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I can't really tell you how it compares to the comic, if there's any race changes or gender swaps or any of that nonsense that Hollywood typically likes to do. But there probably is, and I'm just not aware of it. The thing I really liked about the first season of the show is that it really does show you a real life reflection of Hollywood and the way they're always virtue signaling, that they're always concerned about PR, looking the best they can while being as corrupt as possible and horrible individuals. And that's pretty much what the superheroes are in this show, and the way society sees them is not the way they actually are. And this is what Hollywood is in real life. And I talked about that in my review of season 1. I'm still interested in seeing this show. I'm not convinced that the show's really going to go in this direction, but if it does become like incredibly woke or whatever, I'd pull out. But I do intend to review season 2 just as I reviewed season 1. It was a really great show, season 1. And I bet it's going to be in season 2 just as well. And this right here, The Boys to Tackle White Supremacy and Systematic Racism. This is some of that virtue signaling that Hollywood likes to do. They like to talk a lot of good LGBT and all that crap talking points, while essentially putting the bare minimum, if any of it at all, in their stories and stuff. They really virtue signal hardcore, but they don't really believe in the stuff. Yeah, they just want to look good and pure. They're narcissistic psychopaths that live in a den of pedophilia over in Hollywood. That is the truth of Hollywood. So, I'm I'm gonna read this little article here real fast, but I also want to do a kind of reaction to the scene that they show over. I haven't checked it out, but it's said to be a gross scene over here. It's got something to do with their version of Aquaman. We'll do a reaction to that, but first I'm gonna see what this really has to say. So Eric Kripke spoke of Boys Season 2 and its commentary on real world issues. Well, Eric Kripke, he did great work on Supernatural. I gotta hand it to the man. He had some amazing work on those seasons that he handled over there. But the Boys executive producer Eric Kripke, as well as several of the show's stars, took part in Comic-Con at home, where he discussed the topical issues that Season 2 would tackle. I can say we're going after white supremacy in Season 2. White supremacy that is really almost non-existent, all this BLM crap. This is an obvious virtue signal to the times. So, we're going after white nationalism in Season 2. We're going after systematic racism in Season 2, and all those things really effing suck. He went on to discuss how strong characters are priority numbers, one with the boys, but the team tries to include commentary pertaining to the real world as well. The only commentary I actually seen in the Boys that's in relation to the real world is what I said. You know, the way they try very, very hard to virtue signal this. These guys are pretty much their superheroes, and the corporation they work for is the equivalent of Disney. They try really hard to virtue signal and have good PR, and but it's full of, you know, rapists, racist, sex offenders, and all that. That's the real world representation that this show that really took place in season one. What I saw from season one of this show, it let you kind of get a peek behind the curtain of Hollywood and the way it really is, and the way these people really are. They try to act like they're all virtuous and pure and good. With that said, though, I'm still going to check out season two. And another thing is that The Boys has been renewed for a season three, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan said that he would like to be in this show. So he might be actually get cast for a season three, and that would be great. There was a really big hint from him that said the mask was coming back or something like that on Twitter or Instagram, where he put on the mask. He had a mask, and he hinted that he was going to be back in a mask sometime soon this year. I can't remember if he exactly said this year, but the mask was coming back soon. And I didn't know if that was in relation to the whole him possibly playing Thomas Wayne over in the Flashpoint stuff, or if that meant he might show up over on the Watchmen show as the comedian, maybe, or maybe this. Who knows what he really meant? But I'm pretty sure he meant one of them. So Amazon Prime has officially renewed The Boys for a third season and announced at their show for season two. The streaming service added to the recent wave of superhero content in 2019 when the first season of The Boys began streaming. And it just goes on to tell you that. But at Comic-Con at home, they do reveal there's going to be a season three. Who knows when they'll start filming with the way everything's shut down. But I saw a headline that said something about the film industry is going to be classified as essential. So they'll probably be able to go back into filming, but there's a bigger, they have to put up more money, which may hurt their budget because they have to put up more money for safety precautions and all that, which may actually hurt their budget when it comes to season three. Who knows? Who knows what season two is even going to look like, how great it's going to look. But I heard that they upped everything for season two. Who knows if they're going to be able to do that for season three. But let's go ahead and do a reaction to this scene that's said to be gross. And we'll see why. It's involving this dude that, this big guy that just...
Go, go, go! Go, go, go! There! Headquarters storm drain! Oh, shit!
I was in there. That dude had to see the one.
What are you doing?
Wow, yeah, that is pretty messed up. That poor well. That poor well. Oh, looks like it's gonna be funny. That was pretty messed up. Damn, that well, man. And this guy's always his poor sea creatures, his poor water creatures. Oh man, that fish boy. Anyways, that looked entertaining and messed up, and that's essentially what The Boys is: entertaining and messed up. So I feel like what he's saying here, right here in this headline, I feel like that's more of a virtue signal that Hollywood likes to do. The whole good PR. We gotta look like pure saints because we're secretly running a pedophile ring or something. But that's just the way they are over in Hollywood. Not all of them. Who knows? There's a reason why they think the rest of the world's so bad, though, and that they've got a virtue signal all the time. And they think that there's so much sexism and racism because all that sexism and racism, guess what? It's in Hollywood. But with that said, I am still looking forward to this show. I'm going to watch it. If it gets really woke, I'll pull out. I'm going to review this, and I'll let you know. If you don't want to just jump into it yourself, you want to wait to hear somebody's honest opinion about these kind of things, I'll let you know. Big good one here. Eventually we will. Like, share, subscribe, stay awesome, and rock on.